Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. First things first, I'm gonna apologize for my daughter, as I do in every single video. Soon I'll be apologizing for my daughter and my son, considering he's about to be born in 5 short weeks. So anyways, I wanted to do today's video because I get asked this question a lot. As you can tell by the thumbnail, this video is about my 5 tips for living on one income. And this is something that I get asked all the time. And that's because I'm a stay-at-home mom and wife and I do not work. I feel like this would help a lot of women and men if you're not already practicing these things that I'm going to talk about. But anyways, I don't want to make this intro too long. If you're new to my channel, my name is Chelsea. I am a military wife and stay-at-home mommy. I am pregnant with baby number 2, who's a little boy who's going to be due here in December. And I already have a 16-month-old little girl. So if you like this video and you like pregnancy updates and mommy and lifestyle videos, then hit that subscribe button down below and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy. So let's just jump right into the video. The first thing that I wanted to mention, my first tip, is just having one vehicle. And to a lot of you who have 2 cars, 3 cars even, that sounds like absolutely ridiculous. You're like, how in the world do you survive with just one car? Well, we had 2 cars at one point prior to us getting pregnant with our daughter, and we decided that we would get rid of that car, considering I wasn't going to be going to work anymore and I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. And I feel that that saved us a ton of money, because you may not realize how much you spend for a vehicle, but it's actually a lot if you sat down and added everything up, from anything from gas to just maintenance for the vehicle to your tag renewal, depending on the state that you live in, your tags, you know, your license plates, your insurance. I mean, all of those things add up. And if you cut all of that out of your monthly / yearly expenses, you would actually save so much money. So doing that, yeah, it kind of sucks some days if I, on a whim wanted to go to Target or something and I couldn't because my husband has the car because he's at work. Then yeah, that would suck, but we make do. And on days that I want to do something, I take him to work in the morning. I bring my daughter, we hop in the car and we drive him to work, and then we pick him up at the end of the day. And that's not bad. I don't mind that at all. And we also do that on days that I have a doctor's appointment, or Emmeline, my daughter, has a doctor's appointment, and it works out just fine taking him to work. And we've had one car for I think 2 years now, and it's been completely fine. So that's my number 1 tip if you're trying to save money and you are living on one income. My second tip, I feel like, is pretty self-explanatory, and that's cooking your food and packing your lunch versus buying out or ordering out and going out to eat all the time. And prior to us having our daughter, my husband and I ate out all the time. We would go out for drinks and go out for dinner and grab some lunch. And again, you don't realize how much money you are spending until you sit down and you just add everything up. And at that point in time, we had 2 incomes. I was working and he was working. So when we dropped down to just the 1 income, we obviously took a pay cut, and we had to prioritize the things that were most important, and that would be saving money. So we get pizza, I think, like once a week. We don't eat out. We do not get fast food hardly ever. And I feel like that has also saved us so much money. And another thing is buying in bulk. I mean, when you go to Sam's or buying a Sam's membership or a Costco membership or BJ's, you're saving a ton of money. And we like to do that and buy like huge bags of rice and things like that, and that lasts forever. So second tip, Self-explanatory. Cook your meals, pack your lunch, don't eat out. My third tip for you guys is to cut out cable. And there are some people that absolutely cannot do that and are not willing to cut cable, and that's okay. You prioritize what you want to overspend on and what you don't. And the tips that I'm giving you guys aren't ones that you have to take and do for yourself. This is just things that we have done and that have worked well for us. And I know that whenever we were, thinking about going down to just the one income, we did our research, and one of the top things was to cut out cable. And we never had cable to begin with. We had Netflix and Hulu, which is what we currently have now. And that is 1,000 times cheaper than paying a cable bill every single month. And that has worked wonders for us. It has saved us a ton of money. I know my family has cable, and the money they spend monthly on that is insane, and that's not even including internet what they spend. So anyways, third tip, definitely cut out some cable. The fourth tip I have for you guys is knowing what you need and what you don't need, and that can be extremely hard, and I still struggle with that to this day. And we've been living on one income for 2 years, and as silly as that may sound, well, of course you're gonna know what you need and what you don't need. Anybody knows that. Yeah, but once in a while it's like, well, I totally need this, or I need this pair of shoes. No, you don't. You don't need that. And like I said, that's something that I still struggle with. I used to be the woman who shopped every time I got paid. Girl, I was at the mall, I would shop online. I was always spending my money on clothes and shoes and things like that. I always got my hair done professionally. My nails were done every 2 weeks promptly. And it's things like that when you cut those things out of your life, you do miss those. And sometimes you're like, well, I need this outfit. But do you need that outfit? I mean, sitting there and thinking about that is something that is very difficult and can be hard, especially when you're so used to living a certain way like I was. I was used to spending money however I pleased, and when I stopped doing that, that was definitely hard. I'm so used to it now that I don't even think twice about it. And after doing it for so long, that's just how you get, and you just realize the things that aren't important to you, or the things that you just truly don't need. And we even do that with groceries, something as simple as that. Do we need this week, or is that just something that I want to have, in the pantry? Am I really going to use that, or am I not? And that's something that, like I said, I still struggle with, and we've been living on a single income for a few years now. So I've kind of rambled about that subject, but knowing the difference between needs and wants can be very difficult. Trust me, I still struggle with it. So just sit there, think about it before you spend your money on it. My fifth and final tip for you guys is to set a budget weekly or bi-weekly or monthly even. And that's something that we do in our home. That's something that we practice. My husband's in the military. If any of you are in the military, or military members, military gets paid twice a month. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was used to getting paid weekly where I worked prior to, being a stay-at-home mom and wife. And that was also something that we had to grow accustomed to, because we had not only both incomes, but we had mine that was coming in weekly, and then his that was coming in twice a month. So he gets paid twice a month, and we know exactly what we need to set aside for bills for each paycheck. And I think that is so important, and that helps us not overspend, and it helps us know what we have for, groceries for the week, or gas for the week, or both, or whatever the case is. So when my husband gets paid, we sit there and we pay all the bills that we need to pay. And then with the remaining money that we have in our accounts, we divvy it up and decide what's for groceries, what's for gas, and what's for like miscellaneous purchases. And what I mean by miscellaneous is like, you know, if something goes wrong or, you know, something happens with the car, we have money for that. Or if the car needs an oil change, guess what? I set aside money for that because I have my little money for miscellaneous things that happen. You never know what life is gonna throw at you, and you should always be prepared for it. Yes, you're not always gonna be 100% prepared for everything that's gonna happen to you, but if you can try, or if you can set aside some type of money, then you'll be okay. And another part of that miscellaneous purchase is diapers and wipes and clothes and, you know, things that my daughter needs. And like I said, my son will be here in 5 weeks. That money will also be set aside for things that he's gonna need as well. And if I can't breastfeed, guess what? I have to now set aside extra money for formula. So anyways, what we do is when he gets paid, we set aside the money for groceries, gas, miscellaneous. And we do that for both paychecks that he gets each month. And that also helps so greatly. We also own a home, so we need to be ready if something happens with our house. We don't live in an apartment anymore, so things are automatically way up there. Our electric bill has increased. You know, we don't pay rent anymore. We now pay mortgage, which is way more than what we are paying living in an apartment. And those things are okay, and those things, that's life. Life is expensive, and you just have to know how to manage things. And yes, it would be nice to have an income from me to help contribute, but we can't do that right now. Having me home saves us a ton of money on daycare for 2 kids. And anyways, I don't want to ramble too much about this, but if you guys have any other questions or anything like that, leave that in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer that. But these are the tips that have worked so well for us, and I thought I would share it with you guys because, like I said, this is something that people ask me all the time. How do you guys do it? How do you live on the one income? And I just was like, you know, I'm just gonna make a video about it because, you know, I'm constantly telling people how we do it. And I feel like this could help new mommies who are planning on staying at home to raise their kids. And another thing that I wanna just touch on really quick is, if you are a stay-at-home mom, I want you to know that what you're doing is a job. You are amazing, and what you do is work. People underestimate what stay-at-home moms and wives do. I know that I did prior to having a child. I thought staying at home was gonna be such a breeze, and it was gonna be a piece of cake, and that's gonna be so easy. And man, am I gonna have the life doing that? And yes, you do have the life because you're so fortunate to stay home with your kids, but wow, is it hard. It is hard work, not only taking care of a child or multiple children, but taking care of your household and making sure everybody in your house has what they need when they need it. And that's something that I feel, you know, and I have felt before, that, you know, what I'm doing isn't the same. You know, I'm not bringing in any money, I'm not contributing, but I always have to remind myself that I am. I work, and I may not make money taking care of my children and taking care of the house, but without me, you know, somebody else would be taking care of my child, and I would have to pay them, or, you know, somebody else would have to come clean the house if we both worked full time. It's just things like that. So I want you to know, if you are a stay-at-home mommy or you are a stay-at-home dad, just know that what you are doing is a job, and it matters, and you are contributing just as much as your spouse who is bringing in the income. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, but I hope you guys found it helpful, and I hope you guys take these tips and incorporate them for yourselves. Even if you're not living on one income, some of these tips are really great just to do anyways. But yeah, so as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.